It smells like wine with like a hint of eggs. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now I don't know about you, but I like myself a glass of wine. Really like myself a glass of wine. And I've always been interested in making my own wine, but I didn't know how. And I wasn't sure whether it was possible until I bought myself a winemaking kit. I'm gonna make some wine today from scratch, and hopefully I don't kill myself. I was joking about that, but I hope I don't poison myself.
Now, make a wish and take a bite.
So if you're interested, and this kit ends up being pretty decent, I'll put on screen what it was and where I got it from. I think it was quite expensive as well, or it definitely wasn't cheap. But in this kit, I should technically have everything I need to make some wine. Also, there looks like there's lots of stuff in here. I hope it's not too confusing. Oh shit. Okay, it's not actually as confusing as I thought. So it looks like we've got some buckets in here. Some Solomon Grundy Chardonnay style wine mix. And apparently this makes wine in 7 days. But if you leave it longer, then it matures and it becomes vintage. So I'm going to try and leave it for as long as I can. Hopefully I won't get too excited and drink it all. This actually looks really easy to do. I'm very happy about that. Is it actually... It better be wine. That says wine, but what's the, alcohol content of it? Apparently it makes 5 litres. So that's nice. Okay, it also has this thing inside. I don't know what this is. I should really read the instructions first, shouldn't I, before I start pissing around with it. Okay, they're not instructions. This is just my delivery invoice. That's not gonna help. Does it not come with instructions? What's in here? What the hell's that? It just says white. I've got some liquid stuff. I've also got some Chardonnay wine compound. Apparently add after fermentation with last fining sachet. What does that mean? Do not add to bright wine. Bright wine? What the is bright wine? This sachet contains a blend of concentrated grape and fruit juices with flavourings. It is quite normal for there to be some separation of these ingredients and some deposit formed in the sachet with time, but this will not affect the quality of your wine in any way. Contains sulfites. Oh wait, here we go. Some instructions, thank God for that. I've never been so excited to see instructions in my life. So we've got another one of them liquid sachets. So we've got 2 of these so far. A brownish one and a clear one. The clear one says chitosan. It contains crustaceans. That's a bit gross. And there's our little Chardonnay mix. We've got wine yeast, yeast nutrient, a stabilizer, and an acid regulator, which is citric acid plus sodium citrate. Oh, and we've got another one of these as well. This is called, it's called that. I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce it. Okay, right, so let me read the instructions before I do anything else. What have I bought? This sounds so confusing. It says shake well, then fit bung. And airlock, what the hell's a bung? It says that I need to use a plastic fermenting container instead of the traditional glass version. But it doesn't tell us what's what. I assume one of these is the fermenting thing. Oh, there's stuff in here. That might help. I think I need to add sugar. I don't think it provides you with sugar. Right, let me just see what's in these buckets. Oh, okay. Oh, we have everything in here. Okay, that's fine. I didn't realise I had all this stuff. Oh my God. What the hell? What have I bought? Oh, there's more instructions. Why? Why are you giving us 2 lots? 2 buckets. Okay. Oh, this one's the more detailed instructions, I think. So I don't think I need that one. I'll put it to one side just in case. Making wine is easy and fun. It doesn't seem easy yet or fun. I only have 1 lid for a bucket. Do I need 2? So this is a fermenting bin, also known as a bucket, with a lid fitted with the grommet, the airlock thing. So that's that. And then it says I've got one with a plain lid. I don't have the lid. Oh, yes, I do. It was over the other side. Okay, yes, I have both of them. PVC siphon tube and tap. That's that. A 6-chamber bubble airlock. I think that looks like what that is. A hydrometer for wine and beer. That might be that. It would help if they had pictures. Plastic measuring cylinder. This? Oh, no, this is the plastic jug. Obviously. Oh my God, this is so confusing. Look at all the instructions that I'm having to read. And then there's that one as well. It says I have to sterilise everything and wash it all. I can't be bothered to wash up. You wash up afterwards, you don't wash up before you start. I'm sure it's all sterile anyway. I bought it brand new. I'm gonna go watch someone else's video on how to do this, just so I have a better indication of what I'm doing. And then I'll come back and hopefully I'll be a little bit wiser. Okay, I'm back. And I have actually cleaned my equipment because I found a hair in one of the buckets. So Didn't feel too safe about that. And I feel like I kind of know what I'm doing. I haven't really looked at anything. I just reread the instructions some more. And I feel like I can figure it out. So we'll see. So this is going to be my fermenting bucket. So this is where we start off with. And the fermenting bucket is the one that has this hole in it. So I need to add 2 litres of cold water into here first. Okay, that's that done. It says use a plastic funnel to pour it in. I don't know why. Was I supposed to keep this airtight? Important. It doesn't say. I think I'm alright. And then between 600 grams and 770 grams of sugar into here. 600 grams will produce 10.5% of alcohol, whereas 770 grams will produce 12.5% of alcohol. So obviously I'm going to go for 770 grams. It's a lot of sugar, isn't it? Also, this kit doesn't come with sugar and scales, so you might need to keep that in mind. Oh my god, that is so much sugar. That is ridiculous. I'm just going to reread that just in case I've made a mistake. It says 770 grams of sugar. Right, so in that goes. Num num num. And the large container of concentrate. I think it might be this. Because you would call this a container, wouldn't you? And I don't have any other container. Yeah, so this is like our flavour stuff. Flavour stuff. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm like the least scientific person ever. I'll just give it a quick smell. Kind of smells like wine already. Okay, so this goes in here. Oh, it's thick. Then I need to add 1.2 litres of hot water, not boiling water, and shake this until the sugar's fully dissolved. I don't think I'm going to shake it. I think I'll stir it. I think that makes more sense. It says once this is dissolved, top it up to 4.6 litres. I can't remember how much I've put in. Why can't you just tell us how many I need to put in? Right, studio spoon to the rescue. So we're wanting all this sugar to dissolve. Imagine if you pick this up to shake it, it's going to spill everywhere. It should really say stir until sugar's dissolved. This is so confusing. I'm reading the rest of the instructions, I have no idea what they're talking about. Okay, I think all that sugar's dissolved now. So now it says to top this up to 4.6 litres. I've already put 3.2 litres, so I need to put 0.8 of a litre in. I was just thinking, I hope no winemaking experts are watching this video, because I know I'll be doing something wrong. But I feel like I'm doing the instructions and reading everything and doing things right, so no one should shout at us. Now I need to add the wine yeast, the acid regulator, and nutrient. What the hell's the nutrient? Oh, that one. Well, what about all these? When do I add them? I don't add them for a while. Add them sachets and then mix it again. Okay, I can do that. Ugh, that wine yeast stinks. It smells like beef. And the yeast nutrient. Oh, that smells strong. That smells like, you know, deep heat. That's what it smells like. It's not a good sign at all. Beef and deep heat's in there. Right, and we mix all this up again. It says shake again, but I'm not shaking a bucket this full of liquid. It'll go everywhere, I know it will. This is terrifying. It says you must have the hydrometer if you want to make your own wine in 7 days. If the hydrometer reads below 995, then add a sachet of stabilizer. This will give off gas. Do not inhale. And then it's talking about carbon dioxide gases that'll come off it. Will this kill me? Right, I think I've done that step correctly. I'm just going to read all the other instructions because I feel very confused. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing. I think this is done. So I need to put my lid on and seal that up. But I need to fit this too. I'm gonna have a little look online and I'll be with you in a second. Okay, so I've done a little bit of research and I'm still none the wiser, if I'm totally honest with you. Because I thought maybe you needed to have this and then it goes into like another bucket or something. But I think that's just to siphon this off. So maybes, I shouldn't be guessing actually. All the stuff's in here. Right, so I'm gonna close the lid properly and then that's going to ferment away. I think I've just been a bit confused with my own feelings of what winemaking's supposed to be about, even though I don't know what I'm doing. Then fit bung and airlock. Half fill with cold water. What you're on about? Oh, does it mean that? Oh, it means this. This is the bung. I get it. I was thinking this is the bung. It's not. This is the other thing. And I fill this with water, do I? Why? It's got a hole in it though, it's just going to all come out. I'll see if I can fill this up half with cold water. I don't know how that's going to be possible. Okay, so that did fill a little bit with water, so I think I've done that. So I just shove that in there. In you go. Okay, I think that's done. And then I put this somewhere. It has to be between 21 to 26 degrees. It can't be higher than that, but it can be lower than that. And if it's lower than that, it just takes longer to ferment. I'm going to leave it for a long time anyway, though, because I want to mature wine. So what do I have to do in the meantime? Do I not do anything now? Okay, so I think I'm done for this one part, but I think there might be more parts to come. I'm probably just going to do a bit of research in the meantime to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing next, but I think this is right. So I'm going to leave this for however long it needs to be left for, and then I'll see you in I don't know what's happening. I'll see you whenever, and I'll tell you what's going on next. But at the moment, this is our fermenting bucket, and the wine is doing its thing. Alright, I'll put this next to the radiator. I'm not confident I'm doing anything right, but hey ho. I just hope this doesn't explode. Okay, it's the next day. I was just busy editing, and I heard a noise in the studio, and I wasn't sure what it was, and it turns out to be this. And it's doing stuff, and I don't know whether it's supposed to be doing that. What do I do? It's leaking all over the bucket though. It must need the gas escaping, I assume. I'm gonna have to look at something and then come back to this and see if I need to let the gas escape, because that doesn't seem right. Okay, I've just been on a forum for people who like make wine and shit, and they said that they keep this red lid on, and apparently that's to stop like bugs getting in there and stuff, but I feel like I should take it off for a bit just to release a bit of pressure and then put it back on. What do you think? Feels a bit warm. I think I might just leave it. Maybe it's supposed to have a little bit of leakage. I don't know what gases they are. Should I be this close to it? It doesn't feel like it's going to explode or anything, so I don't know. Someone will have to let me know if this is normal, but I'm assuming that this is supposed to happen. Also, I'm just letting everyone know that I've moved this to the bathroom just in case I get carbon dioxide poisoning, because I think this is what's happening. It's fermenting and these bubbles are coming up and the carbon dioxide is escaping. I feel like I'm just supposed to leave it like this and let it do its own thing. I might have filled the bucket too full, and that's why the wine's coming up. I don't know what I'm doing if you can't tell. But yes, health and safety first. Getting this out of my room just in case I die. So it's day 5 of winemaking, and at this point this should technically be completed and it should be finished fermenting and we're ready to move on to the next step. However, I don't think it is, because if I push down on the lid, it's still bubbling away. It's been bubbling away since I've done it. Oh, it stinks as well. And apparently with wine, you can't really over-ferment it, but you can under-ferment it. So I'd rather it ferment for way longer than it needs to be. However, I haven't done anything with this, and I have read that I'm supposed to be like mixing it and doing stuff with it. So I'm gonna give it a mix, and we're gonna check in on it just to see what it's looking like. Okay, it doesn't look too scary. That looks alright. Let's give this a bit of a mix. Oh, everything's pretty much gone. Actually, that smells a bit like wine. It smells like wine with like a hint of eggs. So I don't particularly fancy having eggy wine. But we'll just give this a bit of a mix, see if we can get any of like the trapped air and fermentation and stuff. Get that all released. Look at me talking as if I know what I'm doing. But there's not really like a lot of sediment or, well, anything really. It's just a very cloudy looking juice. Oh, I'm excited. I think this is going to turn out all right, you know. Okay, that's had a good mix. And I'm going to put my lid back on, and I'll probably leave this for another, I don't know, about 5 days or so. I'm still going to put it in my bathroom though, because I don't trust it. I don't know what this gas is. Okay, so I'm up to about day 12 or 13, I think, of winemaking, and I'm pretty sure this is fully done now. However, I need to measure how much alcohol's in here before I can move on to the next step. And I think that's when your hydrometer comes in to place. So I'll get this lid off, see what it's looking like. Okay, it's still looking a bit like piss. It smells as well. It doesn't smell that nice. Okay, so this thing is our hydrometer. That's what it looks like. It looks like a thermometer, but it's not actually a thermometer. What I've read online is this basically measures the gravity within the wine, and that it does something. I need this to read below 995. So in order to do that, I need to siphon a bit of this wine off into this cylinder thing. Put that in there. Do I just turn it on? I don't even know how this works. Will it just come out? Do I need to make it go down? Doesn't liquid like travel down or something? I don't know how this works. How the hell do you use a siphon? I'd be no good in a zombie apocalypse, would I? We won't use this because I don't know how it works. Instead, I'll just spoon my wine into here. Now this is so much easier. It does smell like there's alcohol in, so that's a good sign. I feel like a proper chemist. Right, so we've got our tube of wine there, and then if I place this in, it's supposed to like float. How the hell do you read a hydrometer? 20 millimeters off the top. I filled it too full. Okay, so that's at 80 millimeters. Right, so then we put this in. Maybe I need to put it in the other way actually. I think it goes in this way. Oh, it does go in that way. Specific gravity will be the mark on the hydrometer at the level of the liquid.
What does that mean?
990. Is that what I was aiming for? Reads below 995. Okay, so that's right. I'm not entirely sure what the point of this step is. It's something to do with measuring the alcohol within the wine. I don't know, it was very confusing, but I think I've done that right. So my next step is to add the stabilizer, and this is the stuff that'll give off gas and I'm not allowed to inhale it, so I'll have to be careful. The stabilizer's in, and I'll give that a mix. Yeah, it's definitely giving off a gas. I'm trying not to inhale it. Okay, so I've done that. So now, apparently with this, I need to shake vigorously several times over the next 2 hours, but obviously I'll stir it. And this is going to remove any of the carbon dioxide gases that are present in the wine. And this should be done several minutes at a time. And that's called degassing the wine. So I'm going to do that. I'll do it all off camera, and we'll come back here later on today, and we'll move on to the next step. I didn't know making my own wine was going to be this hard. Okay, so that should be the wine fully degassed. And now I need to add my wine compound. So in that goes. And then mix that together. And then I need to add this stuff, which I can't pronounce. I think it's called Kieselsolv. So we mix that in too. And give that a stir. Okay, and then I think we put the lid back on. And we're going to leave this for 12 to 24 hours. And then we can move on to another step. I will get wine. I swear down, I will get wine. Okay, so it's a full day later. So I need to take this off. Okay, it's still looking a bit brown, but apparently we add this chitosan stuff into here, and this makes the wine bright, and I'm assuming what it means by bright wine is kind of all the like fogginess and the cloudiness of the liquid disappears. It's actually getting more and more transparent. Like, that's nowhere near as cloudy as it was. It's smelling a lot more like wine as well, so that's nice. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to drink this. Alright, so we pop this in, and then gently swirl for 10 seconds. And as you can see, it's gone cloudy again, but that's because there's like a sediment at the bottom of here, but we're gonna kind of get rid of that in the next step. So now I'll just put the lid back on, and then I'm gonna store this somewhere cool for 1 to 2 days, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so it's a few days later, and my wine should be fully bright and clear. I haven't looked in here yet, but hopefully it looks okay. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Oh, that's amazing. So you can obviously see at the bottom of the tub, that's where all this sediment's lying. And then we've got the lovely, clear, bright wine. I'm pretty sure that's what it's supposed to look like. That looks really good, and it smells really nice. Oh, I think this has actually worked. I'm shocked. But because I don't want any of that sediment getting into my wine bottles, I need to siphon the bright wine off this bucket and into a brand new fresh bucket. So I need to figure out how this works. It does give us instructions. So apparently I need to cut 5 to 6 centimeters off the tube. Then I need to push this over the tap part. I need to close the tap. I need to put the tube in there. I need to open the tap, and I'm having to do this all while not disturbing the bottom part. Then suck this and close the tap, which I've done. I have disturbed the bottom part a little bit. Never mind. And then now I should be able to open this, and that was really hard. Take this mouthpiece off. I should be able to just squirt it into here. It's not doing anything. I have no idea how this siphon thing works. I've been trying to do this for about 10 minutes and it's not working. So I think all I'm gonna do is spoon my wine from here into here. The thing is, it says like, use the siphon thing and not to disturb the stuff at the bottom. I think that's almost impossible. Has to be an easier way than that. Oh, I'll use that little jug actually. This is gonna be a far easier way. So we get rid of this one now. It's definitely a bit cloudier than it was, but I couldn't do the siphon thing. It was too hard. So now with this, if you were making a different kind of wine, so like if you were making a rosé wine or something like that, you would actually add sugar to this and dissolve the sugar in, and that creates obviously a sweeter wine. But because I'm making a medium dry white wine, I don't need to add any sugar at all. So now it's just time to bottle my wine up. We're getting there, everyone. We are getting there. Right, so just fill as many bottles up as I can. That doesn't look too bad. It's not the clearest of wines, but still, it looks okay. I want as many bottles as I can possibly get from this batch because I've got a meeting at Tesco's and I'm going to pitch them my homebrew wine and make millions. Everyone's going to want it. It's going to be the best wine ever. Right, so there we go. 5 bottles of homemade wine. That's pretty decent. But I'm going to refrigerate these. I'm going to let them sit for about a week and then we can move on to the taste test because I want to let everything settle. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm excited. Can't wait to get drunk. So it's finally time to find out whether this has all been worth it. My bottles of wine are refrigerated. I've even made custom labels because it needs shelf appeal, obviously. And I've just got in from work as well, so I am clamming for a drink. Anyway, let's open this up and see what it's like. And by the way, it still looks quite clear. There is a little bit of sediment at the bottom, so if I shook this bottle of wine, it's gonna go cloudy again. But obviously I won't shake it. Just have a small glass, just a sample. It smells like wine. To be fair, it smells like a normal bottle of wine. It smells quite nice. Let's have a little taste test. I think I've made quite a strong wine actually. Oh, that's nice. That's really good. That's a good glass of wine. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to think if there's any wine that it's similar to. I don't know. It doesn't taste like a cheap wine, and I don't really know what expensive wine tastes like. So I wouldn't know if it tastes like an expensive wine, but it tastes very, very good. Oh, that's a really, really good glass of wine. Honestly, I think it tastes better because I've slaved over it and made it from scratch. I think it tastes even nicer and more refreshing. And it might be because I've just finished work, I don't know, but I'm really into it. Really, really liking it. This has all been worth it, by the way. Completely worth it. Ant's Brew is definitely a winner. You're a winner in my eyes. Yes, you are. But that just about does it for today's video of making wine from scratch. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And I think if I was to do it again and make wine from scratch, it would be far more straightforward. It was complicated because I'd never done it before, but now that I know what I'm doing, oh, I can just master it. I can make whatever I want now. What shall I make next? Don't know. More wine. Anyway, I'm going to polish off these 5 bottles of wine and, well, if I do that then I won't be seeing you next week because I will literally die. So I might see you next week, but I might not.